everybody, welcome to another recap of Survivor. Last time on the show, Christine was sent to redemption, and Brandon was sorry that his plan backfired. His plan backfired. At redemption, hey girl, what are you doing? Female Gregory Hines meet angry English teacher. So it's time for the challenge of redemption, and for Upaloo, Coach and Stacy went to observe, and for Savai, Ozzy and Elise went. Christine and Semhar, they're pretty weird matchup. I mean, they're very different. But it's a very simple challenge. You have to balance a totem pole while adding lengths of pole each, I forget how many seconds it was. But the whole thing was held up because Semhar had to recite herself a little poem before they got started, and it freaking took forever. Jeff was pissed, Coach was pissed, even Ozzy, who actually liked her in the beginning, was pissed. She should have gotten a penalty for delay of game. But anyway, karma's a bitch, and Christine survives. Maybe she should have kept her poem to herself. Just saying. So, back at Upaloo, I keep wanting to say Oompa Loompa. Back at Upaloo, Brandon is really feeling bad because he's all super Christian and everything. He didn't want to lie. So he calls the tribe together, and he takes off his shirt and reveals his true identity. I think that was pretty stupid. Because I don't know if people would have figured it out even eventually if you hadn't said anything. I mean, Hans could have been anything. And the one on your back doesn't really look like it says Hans anyway. It looks like it says hats. Michaela confronts Brandon. And she's like, why don't you like me? What's going on? And then he gets so angry that he pulls her in front of the whole tribe and basically calls her out. It's just such an emotional mess over there right now. The best part of the entire episode was when they showed Brandon, oh, Brandon's struggling, and he fell asleep next to the fire, and it looked like he grew boobs. I was like, straight up, you grew boobs! It was his hands like that under his shirt, but it looked hilarious. Alright, so it's Savai, Papa Bear, Dawn, and Cochrane. They are the outcasts of the tribe. They are not in the Five Alliance. And they are at the bottom of the pecking order, and they should be afraid, very afraid. And on a little side note, Keith tells Blondie, or half Blondie anyway, why didn't these ladies touch up their roots before they actually went on the show? I mean, what is it, day 5 or 6? And already heinous roots. They tell, he tells Blondie that Ozzy has the idol. Alright, it's time for the immunity challenge, and it's also a reward challenge. This week's reward is coffee, tea, etc., plus a clue when you get back to your tribe camp. It was basically a surf and turf obstacle course, half water, half land. You have to run out on these floating beams and dragging a boogie board, which was, I thought this was really an interesting challenge. I really liked it because it had a lot of different elements to it. You had to run out, but the rope had to be slack enough so you didn't get stuck. And it was on this giant fishing reel, and everybody knows what happens when you let rope out too quickly on a fishing reel. It gets all knotted up and tangled. So that did happen a few times to some of them. But anyway, once you got to the floating little barge, you had to collect banner pieces. So once you got all the banner pieces, you had to put them in baskets, and they had to use grappling hooks to pick up all of the baskets up to hang up the banners. So, and then finally you had to put together the big flag puzzle. Well, Ozzy was one of the ones who was running out with the boogie board, and he had a lot of trouble with that. On the first run, his rope kind of got stuck and he got hung up, so Upaloo had a lead in the beginning. And then Savai took over the lead, and then it was a tie. You know how it goes, back and forth all the time. There was no real, no real tribe that had the lead at any one time, a lot. So for the final bag, Ozzy fell off his boogie board, but that didn't matter so much because he caught up right away. And then Coach, the thing that really put Oopaloo over the top, because surprise they won, was Coach was super fast with the grappling hook, picking up the baskets with the banner pieces in them. So he really won it for that tribe, for Oopaloo. So it's Savai'i. Oh, horror. Papa Bear and Cochrane are feeling like outcasts because they know they are not in the cool alliance. So they decide that they're going to tell Cochrane, that they're telling Papa Bear that Cochrane's going, but it's really going to be Papa Bear. And that kind of was a stupid move because Papa Bear is a detective. I mean, he's retired detective. I think he's figured out a few cases. He knows what's up. He's like, well, why would you vote out Cochrane? So, I don't know. He gets this crazy look in his eye and goes running into the woods like a wild man. And he pretends that he's looking for the idol. And I think he actually fooled Jim. He stuck something in a leaf and like tied it up with a shred of rope and stuck it in his pants. And yeah, I think he fooled Jim. But anyway, at Tribal, Cochrane, being the sniveling little lawyer student that he is, immediately starts defending himself because he's like a rat on a sinking ship. He wants to survive. And Papa Bear just shuts down Tribal and is like, look, me, Cochrane, Dawn, we're all in the outs and we know it. So after the vote, Papa Bear is sent to Redemption Island. I mean, he is weak and everything, but he's so sweet. How could you do that to Papa Bear? I mean, don't you want to keep a few weak people? Because, you know, later on you might need somebody who's weaker to defeat. I never understood why they would get rid of the weak people all at once, but I guess it's because of the team challenges, but I don't know, that's probably why I'd be the first one off on Survivor. Next time, total turn of events. On Savai'i, Cochrane is calling the shots. Who knew? And Brandon goes full mental. I saw it coming from day one. But anyway, till next time, much love.